Hey, what's going on, everyone? Back at it again with another video. And today I am going to be counting down the top five best animated Superman movies. And this is, of course, to honor the new Superman movie that's coming out. Can't wait to see that. But yeah, I am going to be counting down the top five best Superman animated movies. Or, okay, maybe not the best, but my favorite animated Superman movies. So if you get angry that, your favorite animated Superman movie isn't on this list, then fuck yeah, because this is my list. So yeah, I was trying to think of 10, but I couldn't think of, 10 good animated Superman movies. And, I'm of course doing like, solo Superman movies, like no Justice League movies. Like, I'm just doing Superman movies, Superman animated movies. Um, but yeah, I couldn't think of 10 good ones, so I just narrowing it down to five. But yeah, so with no further ado, let's get into it. Okay, number five is Superman versus the Elite. Now, this is probably the best Superman movie that encapsulates what Superman stands for. Because, Superman stands for the American way. So you have this group called the Elite who are passed off as good guys, but they kill people. And then that just creates a whole new discussion on, if that's the right thing to do, which honestly divides people, because if someone does something really bad, should they die or should they not die? Should justice be served? And it's honestly kind of a great conflict for Superman because the elite is basically everything Superman doesn't stand for. And it's honestly a very great conflict. And, because that's one of those things that, like, could be up for debate. Like, is it all right to kill someone who did something really bad? I mean, and that's what the elite is doing, but that's completely goes against Superman's views. And the public is obviously divided on it, just like in the real world. The public is still divided on that, if it's the right thing to do or not. But yeah, this is a great Superman story. I don't really know what comic it's based on because I've only seen this movie, but it's a really good story. My only problem with the movie is the animation. I don't really dig the animation style for this, but I don't hate the animation. I just don't really dig it. Um, you know, um, but other than that, like, they brought George Newbern back to voice Superman, who voiced Superman in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. So that's a plus. And yeah, other than that, though, it's a pretty great movie. Um, that perfectly encapsulates Superman's views. So yeah, very cool. Okay, number four is Superman Batman Public Enemies. Now, I remember when this first came out. I think this was like maybe the third or fourth direct to video DC movie. So, at this point, we just started getting them. Like, we got New Frontier, Green Lantern First Flight, Superman Doomsday. And then we got this Superman Batman Public Enemies. Now, Um, this is based off the same comic, and first off, the animation looks great. This is probably the best Superman movie as far as the animation goes. Like the animation is just slick. Um, and also a huge plus about this is that we get Tim Daly voicing Superman and Kevin Conroy voicing Batman, who are the people who basically started the DCAU. You had Tim Daly voicing Superman in Superman the Animated Series, and you had Kevin Conroy voicing Batman in Batman the Animated Series. So it's always good to hear those voices. Um, and I love this movie. Lex Luthor is now the president, and all the heroes are basically, going up against Batman and Superman. Um, Hence, public enemies. And I always loved the Batman Superman robot. I thought that, like as a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I love this movie. This was great. This is probably the best Batman Superman movie where you get the best Batman and Superman dynamic. And it also helps a lot that they got the original voice actors, Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy, to do it. So yeah, it's a huge must. Like this, you got to see this one. This one's great. Okay, number 3 is All Star Superman. Now, this one is, obviously based off the comic of the same name. Um, Honestly, I think I like the movie a little bit better, probably because I've seen the movie first. Like, I read the comic for the first time last year, and it's a great comic, but I always remembered this movie. Um, so yeah, basically, Superman is dying, so he basically comes clean to Lois, and you know shows her that he's Superman, that Clark Kent is Superman. Um, the animation in this one's really good too. Not as good as the Public Enemies animation. Like I like that animation more, but the animation for this is still good. Um, and yeah, Lex Luthor is taking over the world. And what's cool? This is probably my favorite. Well, besides the Lex Luthor from the DCAU. But other than that, I think this one's probably the best Lex Luthor because I love the part where like he's on the electric chair and obviously it didn't work out. So he gets out. He basically absorbed all of Superman's power, which was honestly a very cool concept. But yeah, I'm not gonna give away too much. This is another one you just have to see, and it's based off a great comic. So yeah, it's very cool, very good. Okay, number 2 is Superman Unbound. Now, this is probably the most underrated animated Superman movie on this list, but I love it. I always love this movie because it has one of my favorite Superman villains, Brainiac, and it's amazing. First off, the animation, a lot of people don't like it. I actually like it. I think it's very unique. You know, it's nothing like basic. Like it's very unique, you know. And yeah, I like the versions of these characters. Um, you also get Supergirl, which some can argue this is her movie, which in some ways it kind of is, you know. Um, but yeah, I love the Superman and Supergirl dynamic in this. Um, and also, I mean, you get Brainiac, and honestly, I might get some flack for this, but I think this is the best animated Brainiac, even better than the DCAU, because this Brainiac is I feel like is more fucked up than the other Brainiacs we've gotten. Um, and also I love the look of him in this animation. And I love how Superman defeats Brainiac. It is I mean, I'm not going to give it away, but it's like something that, like, honestly, like, it's something so simple of how he fucks up Brainiac, but it's so entertaining to watch how Superman defeats Brainiac at the end. Um, basically touches grass. All right, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I've always loved Superman Unbound. It's great. I was kind of debating on putting it first, but there's one movie that it just can't beat. And number one, probably not a shock to anyone, is The Death of Superman. This one should have been in theaters. This animated movie should have been in theaters. Like a lot of these DC animated movies, well, most of them, they never got a theatrical release. But I think two exceptions they should have released. They should have released The Dark Knight Returns, and they should have released The Death of Superman on the big screen, because this movie does something that Superman Doomsday couldn't, and tell a Death of Superman story and just tell it right. And because we've wanted a Death of Superman, you know, for a long time, like an animated movie, even a live action movie, but they screwed that up. But it's just so great we got this. Like, it was great. Okay. Um Death of Superman is obviously the greatest Superman story. You know, and I'm not saying that this is better than the comic. It's obviously, the comic's one of the greatest stories ever sold. But this was still great. You know, do I even have to explain it? It's Death of Superman. I mean, but I love the development of, Superman and Lois, that whole, thing. And also the Justice League are a part of it, obviously, but it's not to the point where, like, it's a Justice League movie. Like, this is a Superman movie still. Like, that's why, obviously it's the Death of Superman. It's still a Superman movie. And the Justice League characters, they don't take up most of the movie. Most of it is really just Superman doing Superman stuff. Well, a great portion of it is Clark Kent and Lois, and then, but yeah, you get what I mean. So Superman fighting Doomsday, it was great, and honestly, like, very heart wrenching. Because obviously it's the death of Superman, but like when he saves the boy, like, crap, like stuff like that, like, makes the blow even like harder to deal with. So it's amazing. It's obviously number one, Death of Superman. No argument. But that was my top five animated Superman movies. This is, of course, to celebrate the new Superman movie coming out soon. So, yeah. And again, if you didn't like the list, then fuck yeah, it's my list.